morning and welcome to the Brazilian American Chamber of Commerce's hybrid seminar on regulatory developments in financial services in partnership with Hogan Lovells, Matos Filho, and Mercado Bitcoin.
Can you provide an overview of the current state of the crypto market in Brazil? Size, volume of trading, who's trading, most active cryptos traded?
Crypto market has evolved a lot in Brazil since the beginning of all the crypto market itself. It's been 13 years since Bitcoin was launched, and Mercado Bitcoin itself, we have been here since 2013. Today I have many other players here in Brazil, more than crypto exchanges. We have of course, leading this path, we have the crypto exchanges like Mercado Bitcoin, but we do have ETFs also. That's something very new and something sort of unique. And it was unique in the world, but we have ETFs in the US also. But talking about numbers is not that easy in terms of size of the market, because most of the volume is a volume that each exchange shows how much volume they make. And we have also people trading abroad, but we have we have the Mercado Bitcoin's numbers, and we have some estimates of the size of the market. Well, we estimate the size of the market here in Brazil in volume traded this year is something like 200 billion reais, something like that. That is barely $40 billion, with probably almost 2 million clients onboarded in crypto directly. I mean, trading through exchanges, Brazilian exchanges, and through products like ETFs. So, of course, BTC is the crypto that people trades more, followed by Ether, but have after these two, that is sort of kind of the king and the prince of the market, let's say, we have many other coins that maybe it's not under the radar of institutional clients, for example, but we do have some other coins that people are very interested in. We have many game coins like AXS, that Axie Infinity, that this year performed really good, and people, when they start trading crypto, they're of course following this Bitcoin speech, the Bitcoin rational, but they're always looking for some coin that gets a really good momentum. So when you have a movement like AXS or Chile's THZ, or even decentralized Mana, that is, these three tokens this year performed really good, and that attracted people to other crypto assets other than BTC and Ether, that together they represent some at least 50% of the market.
For a country like Brazil, do you see, just following up on your conclusion that you see it, as an investment class, is it something that you think has taken on with, in terms of wide popularity, not just high net worth or middle class, but also what we would call retail? Do you think that as an investment class, do you think that has made it, the accessibility has made it attractive for those who are not necessarily investing in, don't have the access to invest in the stock market?
Well, we have a very good moment in terms of investment opportunities here in Brazil. In the last 3 or 4 years, the stock market, the retail stock market boomed. We have seen many companies doing their IPOs. Has seen a good competition between some players, the financial consultants, and people getting use it to invest their money as interest rates went down in the more large period of time. So it's not easy to make money with fixed income here in Brazil anymore. So people are looking for other opportunities. And as the stock exchange maybe is not for everyone, or maybe has not performed that good in the last year, for example, people start to okay, you have convinced me of taking my money out of fixed income. So what else? What's more? What exists beyond the stock market? So crypto get these people that's kind of not got used with the idea, but they know their volatility. There are this other opportunities than fixed income. So I think that crypto fits this market of not more a geek thing here in Brazil, but a more broad aspect. Of course, I believe that this investment market is still very small in terms of potential. I have something like between 3 and 4 million people on the stock market, for example. That, in my opinion, is a very small number given the size of the country. But I believe that you can put crypto as an asset class as stocks, for example, or real estate investment funds, for example. So crypto is something that not everyone, but most of the people are at least considering and putting on their portfolio.
In the beginning, crypto has emerged as a payment mean, but at least in Brazil, it was much more used as an investment alternative than as a payment mean, due to a lot of reasons, because we have a strong currency, also because to solve the algorithms that need to be solved to validate a payment transaction is a very, very energy consuming process. So we have a lot of aspects that turn the crypto much more as an investment alternative in Brazil than a payment mean. In 2014, the Central Bank of Brazil has issued a communication to all the market, pointing out some risks of crypto and indicating crypto as being a virtual currency. So the first indication would be that that crypto would be treated as a kind of currency by the central bank. But at this moment, and also in 2017, the central bank issued another communication to the market, pointing out some risks related to crypto. But in those moments, the central bank also stated that it would not regulate crypto. During that time, we had also two communications from the Brazilian Securities and Exchange Commission, stating that when crypto falls under the concept of security, it should be treated, and all the regulation applicable to securities should be applied to crypto. So as you see, we do not have in Brazil a clear definition of what is the nature of crypto. So it will depend on the underlying asset of the crypto, also the nature of the crypto, if it's a utility token or a security token. But in any case, we do not have a clear indication of how crypto will be treated as a whole. We have a lot of debates in Brazil about the tax regime that should be applicable to crypto, and it changes depending on the nature of the crypto that we are talking about. And the tax authorities in Brazil consider crypto as an asset. So if you sell crypto, you should be taxed to pay capital gains on the position that you liquidate in crypto. So,
In 2014 and 2017, we issued those communications, those communiques to the society to make sure that everybody knew that the cryptocurrencies were not currencies per se. They were highly volatile, and people could take care, could be aware of the risks involved in investing that. It's fine to invest in a risky asset. And our position was that we wouldn't regulate it because it was a very small market in 2014 and 2017. But now I think that the moment has come, and then the Congress is discussing this regulation. It's we are making a lot of progress. I understand that activities are the ones that should be regulated. I understand this problem that Ivan mentioned, that we couldn't regulate actors that are not providing the service, but someone is providing the service, and if you are providing it, you should be regulated under the central bank. And if you are not the one that is developing the protocols, you need to make sure that the protocols are compliant with the regulations in place.
Thank you. Barbara, I think earlier we had touched on, I think, your statement about regulating the actors and not the technology. And I realize you're coming from a private sector perspective, but I mean, what would that look like if there are a number of decentralized actors, each operating independently, each providing its own technology? I mean, would it be based upon, should it be based upon whether there's compensation being made from the use of a protocol or a market or trading, even if it is decentralized?
Yeah, I think like we're starting to look to DeFi, but like right now, like we're maybe 2 steps behind in terms of regulation worldwide. I'm not saying Brazil, but we're looking on a C5 environment, so environment where most of the consumers, so most of the Brazilians, most of the investors, people that interact with cryptocurrencies interact through centralized finance, so through an exchange, right? Like we already have peer-to-peer transactions, but we're looking for ways of bringing certainty to the market. And then I believe that obviously the law and the regulation needs to follow the technology and whatever it's going, right? So we do see in Bitso that DeFi is the internet on the 90s. And you're right, like we cannot only regulate actors when actors are everywhere. So if they're decentralized, it should be a regulation on protocols. But I think this is a separate phase on the regulatory framework. Right now, like I understand that what we would like to see is regulation around players and protecting them, like the biggest amount of consumers, on segregation of funds, on insolvency, on continuing of activities, on avoiding systemic failure, and then on the DeFi perspective, where we're not talking about actors, but we're talking about protocols and how they're built and how we can, like as a society or as regulators, protect consumers from businesses or protocols or activities that are not, I don't know, that have bad intention. That's a different phase of the regulatory framework, in my opinion.
Good. Well, I think clarity is fundamental, but more than that, I think the different roles in the space are very important. They to be defined, and these roles be very clearly which is each role. And the crypto space, when talking about an exchange, for example, we do many things inside the exchange that typically in other environments are divided into different institutions. For example, trading, for example, order routing, for example, custody, for example, clearing. On an exchange, everything is mixed, and the services are offered and in a way that even the client he doesn't know exactly what's going on. It's not much different from the client perspective what he gets into a broker in the traditional market. He's a client of the broker, and he just goes there and trades, and that's fine. But most of the people, they don't know there's a stock exchange, there's a custodian, there's a clearing, and so on. An exchange, a crypto exchange, do all the things, even though when you compare to the traditional market, this is all separated. I think giving clarity of each role of the exchange, or if this is not the name, it's the digital custodian, for example, it would be very good, and with different obligations for each role that we have. Even issuing new tokens, for example, is another thing that would be nice to have it regulated also. But of course, most of the times it goes, when you talk about issuing a token, most of the time it's much more a CVM thing than a central bank thing. But I think there's space for these different kinds of regulation once this crypto market is very rich in terms of opportunities and possibilities.
So Fabio, you did touch briefly upon central bank digital currencies. I wonder if you could sort of elaborate more on the digital real. What's it? You mentioned in the context of sort of other cryptos potentially destabilizing currencies. Do you see the digital real as a stabilizing mechanism? Is it a? Is it fiat? I mean, will it be backed by reserves? And if so, how does it necessarily differ from paper or coin, if at all, just in terms of digital format?
Well, yeah, that's a very good question. This matter of the stabilizing the economy, as I mentioned before, it's a possibility, and crypto markets could destabilize currencies. But I think that here in Brazil, we are getting ready to deal with that. So I believe it won't happen here, but we are working so it won't happen. And the initiative of the digital Brazilian real is quite an important part of this preparation. We understand that the crypto markets are growing, and it's, as we said, its volatility, it doesn't make it usable right now for payments. Then our concern with the crypto markets right now is much more focused on a threat for financial stability than a threat for monetary stability. But when you start to think about stable coins that are built to try to peg to some fiat money, then you may have trouble. You may bring some troubles for the monetary stability as well. You see right now, as we have discussed already, this DeFi market that it was enabled by the stable coins. All those protocols that have been mentioned are based on stable coins, and this feature of removing the volatility compared to other cash flows in the economy, in the real economy, helped people to use and to create financial products on top of the stable coins. And then when you take the stable coins into consideration, you can picture a much bleaker scenario, and that would be even worse for emerging markets. You could think of a scenario where the citizens are using a stable coin that is not responsive to your monetary policy, and they are trading financial services without the regulation of the central bank. Then in that scenario, that catastrophe scenario, the central bank would lose power to assure monetary stability and financial stability, the main objectives of the central banks. The central banks would lose power to keep on delivering on their missions. And that's very concerning for the central bank. Then we think that what could you do? It's pretty much impossible to prohibit the usage of crypto, and that's not one thing that we're considering here in Brazil. What we want to do actually is to incorporate these tools to give to the population and to entrepreneurs an environment that is safer, and where the integrity of the participants and the resources that are being used, they are assured by some sort of regulation. And at the end of the day, if there is a problem, you have someone to go to complain. In the DeFi market right now, things are very loose, and they can be, all the services can be used in different countries. And then when someone has a problem, whom they have to turn to, and it's a very complicated thing when you start to talk about popular savings and the money that people have put aside for retirement or stuff like that. Then it's very important to provide an environment for the innovation to come into the regular financial system, into the regulatory borders of the central bank. And we understand that a smart payment platform is quite important for that, for solving that problem right now here in Brazil. It's not actually a problem, it's growing, it may become a problem, but to avoid this bleak scenario that I painted before, it would be a very important tool. Then we could develop a smart payment platform able to incorporate these tools and allow the participants in the market to operate with their tokens and to operate with other digital assets. And that's, I think that is the main difference from the digital real to the physical real. The physical real and the current expression as deposits that we have in the banks, they're not able to provide this sort of services. Then with the CBDC, the digital real, and with other private monies in this network, we could have an environment that is safer and it has legal backing, so entrepreneurs have a good environment to spread this technology for a broader base of users in Brazil.
Thank you, Evan. Yes, you can address your emails to us and we'll follow up as well. Thank you, Evan, Fabio, Pedro, Barbara, and Fabrício for an excellent discussion. A special thank you again to our sponsors, Hogan Lovells and Matos Filho, and thank you all for joining. This is our last event of 2021. I want to take the opportunity on behalf of the Chamber to thank you all, especially our directors, for inexhaustible effort to keep the Chamber going and relevant in these challenging times. We also wish you a wonderful holiday season and a stupendous 2022. Again, thank you for coming, especially to our members. For those that are not, please watch the brief video that follows, and we invite you to join the Chamber. In the meantime, stay healthy and in good spirits.